Now, the South African Revenue Service says it wants Judge Dennis Davis to recuse himself or to be axed from the tax committee that he heads. He chairs the Davis Tax Committee, which was appointed by the Minister of Finance to advise on matters pertaining to tax administration. SARS says it's disturbing that in this capacity, he addressed a meeting and launched what it called unprovoked and unwarranted attacks on SARS. Davis addressed a conference on tax evasion and illicit financial flows in Cape Town over the past weekend. His comments were published in the city press. He is reported to have said that the biggest challenge facing South Africa is an erosion of the integrity of SARS. Judge Davis maintains he was misquoted in some respects. Well, to discuss, we will be joined by the judge a little later on, but first, Luther Lebelo, a Group Exec of Employer Relations at SARS, joins us now. Thank you for being with us. Luther, this is quite a statement, your statement. It really reads for a long time, slamming Davis himself. Was there any attempt, firstly, to deal with this with him?
Yeah, look, maybe it's out of high expectations. Judge Davis is a celebrated, very respected jurist who has been given a very important responsibility, which is to advise SARS. He's been sitting there since 2013. And when he goes and did what he did, we just felt that we expected better from him. You know, we didn't expect him to do this.
But because of his reputation, shouldn't you then give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a call and say what exactly is going on here?
No, we felt we verified the facts of that conference and we're comfortable that he has made those comments. And we felt that for the purpose of, for the protection of this very critical institution, whose his conduct are actually affecting the collection of revenue. And we must put that very clear. That is this kind of comments that will make us to struggle to collect the revenue, because he's a very respected judge. Now let me give you a context. So in terms of Section 11, the Commissioner of Finance can appoint a committee that must advise him and the SARS Commissioner. And he's getting paid by SARS. So it's like SABC asking a consultant to look at their business and advise them on how to make it better. And here is a person who goes to the public with that knowledge, and he goes and misleads the public, especially by saying SARS has lost integrity, which is a complete lie. SARS did not lose any integrity. In the last 2 years, we have overperformed by 8%. We've outperformed the economy by 8% when it was growing by 1%. So you can't say that there's no integrity. And he goes further and say the number of the 103,000 who are earning 1.5 million, the number that we gave to Treasury are not true, because he knows of some people in the Johannesburg bar who are earning 5 million are not in that list. Now the question becomes, if we pay you to advise us and you know of people who are not paying the taxes, why would you go and say it in the public meeting? We had a meeting, in the public arena. We had a meeting with him in September last year. He never raised any of the things that he's raising. He goes on, continue with this narrative, which is a complete lie, that the 30 billion that has to be reduced is because of the SARS performance. He knows it's not true, because how the target is designed. There is a committee that is consisting of SARS, Revenue, South African Reserve Bank, and National Treasury. They sit down, these are experts, they sit down, look at the movement of the economy and make a decision.
Can I just ask you to concede, there is general concern, would you admit that, about, you're talking about the incredible tax collection that we've seen in previous years. I don't dispute that, but there was a shortfall of 30 billion rand, and nobody knows exactly why. SARS is saying it's only economic growth, but a lot of officials are concerned about that. Was it not fair enough to express some concern that we're struggling to collect the revenue that we're targeting?
Now let me explain to you. It's a manufactured crisis. Let me explain to you. It's not SARS that says it's the economy. If you look into our statement, it's the committee of 3 organizations. The experts sat down and said the following. They said, import has contracted. We lost 6.5 billion because there's no import. Import taxes, as a result of import being contracting, we lost 11 point something billion. Because of the retrenchment, unemployment, and lower salaries that people received, we lost 15 billion. All of that is 30 billion. So this is a committee that says the only reason why the 30 billion is not collected is because the economy is growing. Who is responsible for the growth of the economy? That is what people continue to not raise. The responsibility to grow the economy is the National Treasury and the Minister of Finance. Our job is to go to an economy and collect. If the economy doesn't perform, we'll collect what is within the economy. Let me give you an example. In the last 6, 7 years or 10 years, I can take an average. SARS has been collecting 20, because we collect a percentage of the GDP. SARS has been collecting 25% on average. In the last 2 years, we have collected 26% of the average. So advanced revenue services, they don't even measure money. They measure the percentage of your collection from the GDP. In the last 2 years, we have done that. We are currently doing that. So it's a manufactured story that's why we are worried that Judge Davis, of all the people, he can't do that by error.
But therefore, Luther, it's not only him. I'm going to quote the finance minister recently, around the budget time. He said, "We will continue to call on Judge Davis and the tax committee for advice on how best to ensure that SARS remains a robust and effective tax collection agency." Why would you be asking for advice if there's not a little concern about SARS?
We did not ask for an advice. And we don't think we need an advice.
I'm saying, why would the finance minister say this?
I do not know. Last week, we called a media conference.
There has been several meetings between the finance minister and SARS. Does that not reflect some concern?
No. All the commissioners that have worked in SARS, we meet with the minister once a month. It's standard. It's not about a concern.
So there's been no unstandard meetings. Is that what you're saying?
No. Minister calls a meeting. For whatever that happens, we go and talk to him. The operating model that we just implemented, in its first year, gave us 12 billion rand to the fiscus. That operating model is settling down, and we want to allow everybody to settle down. And in fact, we also disagree. Even if it's said by the minister, I don't have record, but if the minister said the 30 billion is because of SARS, we disagree with that version. The committee that he himself appoints told him the 3 reasons why the economy was cut into 30 billion. So it is false, and when we say this, it is false by anyone to say the 30 billion is the performance of SARS. It's a wrong narrative. It must be stopped because it's a lie.
We're going to speak to the judge himself shortly. My final quick question is, you're saying, that you have to defend SARS as this institution. But this is another public spat. Isn't that itself undermining SARS? So I asked you, why didn't you speak to him first? This has been happening between the SARS commissioner and the finance minister as well. And these statements are quite strong. You're accusing him of systematically orchestrated being part of this narrative that seeks to decimate and undermine the leadership of SARS. This is strong. It seems like political stuff.
Yeah, let me tell you what undermines SARS. What undermines SARS is a person who's respected to be an authority on SARS, who goes and tells the public that SARS does not have an integrity. We take 45% of people's salaries. Do you think people will want that 45% to be taken by an institution that does not have integrity? So those are the people who are actually damaging SARS, and the judge is part of those people. And that's why we're calling for those people to stop. So this, for us, is a clear message that we are going to defend this institution which we are empowered by the SARS Act to defend. And the comments that are made by those people and many others, by the way, the media has been saying all these lies, and the judge is saying it. Those are the people who are damaging us, and those are the people who must stop. All right. Thank you very much, Luther Lebelo from SARS. I may give you a chance, if it seems fair, to comment. But let's now join on the line